I always saw myself as a mom. And then I realized I didn't necessarily have the strong desire to carry a child.
I didn't have that, like, my clock is ticking. But when I met Christie, I knew I wanted a family with her. So.
One of our friends who we played softball with at the time, she worked for DCF, and that's how adoption came in the picture.
She said there's so many babies out there that need good homes.
Mm-hmm. We heard about an open house, and we went and learned about the process. So we wanted to figure out, first of all, would DCF consider us a viable candidate? Some countries don't adopt same-sex couples, and DCF was like, of course. The first step of the DCF process is taking what we referred to as parenting classes, and it was a 10-week class. We did a more intense route on Saturdays. It was 5 weeks.
They come and they check out your house, make sure it's safe. You need a note from the vet to make sure your pets are healthy and nice and good with kids.
They talk to you about dealing with trauma, and especially if you have older children, if they've gone through any type of abuse that runs the gamut, and they'll tell you stories of that. They had a lawyer come in to talk about the legal side of adopting through DCF, so it was very eye-opening.
There's a lot of steps. You get fingerprinted, you get run through the FBI, through the police, to make sure you're not a criminal. I think it's good. I think all parents should go through all that, honestly.
They'll ask you questions about your views on parenting, and you fill out, for lack of a better term, a checklist of what you're looking for. So you get to specify gender, race, age.
We got Jake on a Tuesday. We got a call on that same Tuesday that we got selected.
I jumped up and down, started crying, and I was like, now what? So now what happens?
Jake was 6 months old, and he was this tiny little baby. He was only 13 pounds, soaking wet.
Part of the reason we decided to try for a second child is we felt like Jake would be an amazing big brother, and that he kind of needed that, and he has.
It's
lived up to that. It's helped him grow. Yeah. It's helped him mature. He loves his little brother.
We were toying with the idea of getting a second child, and Christy was like, well, if we don't get one, by the time I'm 40, we'll just say, oh, it's just meant to be, we'll just have one.
We adopted him on my 40th birthday. Best birthday gift ever. You never know what a day's going to bring. You know, every day is a different adventure.
We've always said that we wouldn't let the children drive a wedge between us. Mm-hmm. That we always had to be a united front and connected. And we've done that, really.
And we still try to take time for ourselves and have date nights. And it's funny, Jake knows, like when we get dressed up, sometimes he's like, Mama, where are you going? And I'm like, well, Mama and my mom are having a date night. And he's like, okay. And he knows. And then
and he was like, why? Because we love each other. He was like, okay. My cousin has a son who is a year older than Jake. And when Jake was like 2, they went to the same daycare together. And I was picking Dustin up from daycare that day for my cousin. And we're in the car, and Dustin goes to me, Jake has 2 moms, right? And I said, yeah, that's right. And he was like, why? And I said, well, some kids have 2 moms. Some kids have 2 dads. Some kids have a mom and a dad. Some kids just have a dad, and some kids just have a mom. And he goes, okay. So then we come here, and his mom picked him up there with his baby sister, and she was nursing the baby, and Jake went over to kind of like see the baby, and Dustin goes, this is my mom. You already have 2 moms. Kind of like he's collecting moms.
We have a great support system with school and within our family that the fact that there were 2 women, it hasn't become an issue.
No, or the fact that they're adopted. They're not treated like they're not family. They're ours, and the family has just embraced them.
DCF is very supportive of their children, but they're also very supportive of their foster and adoptive parents as well. Gay, straight, single, married, race, they just want a loving home for their children.